Hey, everybody, what's going on? Jeff Rieger, another episode of the Daily Ticket. This one for a Thursday. So close to the weekend, so close to Christmas, December 21st, 2023. I feel we've talked a lot about Christmas because it is so close to being Christmas. But do you want to know what the biggest pain in the ass is? I feel everybody has their hates of this holiday, something they dislike so bad that they'd be willing to spend to get it done for them. They'd pay somebody else to do it for them. Whether it's Christmas lights, pain in the ass. Whether it's making the Christmas food, pain in the ass. Wrapping gifts, oh my God, pain in the ass. But the biggest pain in the ass, and you know I'm right about this if you celebrate this holiday and you do it for the kids, but the biggest pain in the ass is this. Here, let me grab it for you. I'm not supposed to touch this or it's going to lose its magic. It is exhausting finding a place for this elf. Her name is Crystal. Every day. And in our family, by the way, it's not even every day, it's twice a day. Because my daughter thinks she has a special elf. So we have to move it twice a day. She comes home from school, the elf better have moved. She wakes up in the morning, the elf better have moved. It is such a pain in the ass. I'm running out of ideas. And in the Rieger household, it becomes even a bigger pain in the ass because the elf has friends. Like, look, she's made friends along the way, whether it's this gnome, okay? This came on a plant that I bought my wife. Cute little thing, right? Or what about this dog? Here we go. Wearing Crystal the elf's scarf. So now, not only do I have to move the elf, but I got to move all her friends as well. Like here, a Cabbage Patch doll. I don't know if you can see that back there. And then here's the newest edition. My wife just bought it at Aldi's. It never stops. The elf is exhausting. This thing. Oh my goodness. I'm looking so forward to the 26th so I can put her away for the year and bring her out next year. 25 days of moving that thing twice a day. Like, who thought of this stuff? What? What do you want? My dog is giving me grief again. Here. There you go. I probably got to go feed her. I'll be right back. All right, I'm back. Please, don't tell my daughter I'm touching the elf. She would be mortified. But this thing, exhausting. Just exhausting. All right. Let's get to it, shall we? Because it is great that the Lions are in the place that they're at. I love talking about the Lions. You love hearing about the Lions. The clicks on the podcast are up. People are digging what the Lions have been able to put together, especially after that win on Saturday against the Broncos. You know, it's only a matter of time before they make the playoffs. Could be as quickly as this weekend. Here, I wrote down the scenario. Lions just win, and they're a playoff team. And by the way, they win the division as well. But if they don't win, they could still get help. If the Rams lose or tie, they're in as well. If the Seahawks lose or tie, they're in, even if they happen to lose. So that's how the Lions get into the postseason. And remember, if they beat the Vikings up 3 games with 3 to play, they're divisional champs for the first time ever of the NFC North. And for the first time in the division since, 30 years, 1993. So it's pretty awesome, right? And now, because the Lions have 10 wins, they're 10-4, because they've been a good football team, it allows us to enjoy thinking about who they're going to play in the playoff game. And by the way, I am never right about anything, but I was the first on this. The national media is all over Stafford versus the Lions in the wild card game now at Ford Field. Don't forget, I was the first one to bring it up. Considering I'm never right about anything, I'm going to take credit for this one. But I saw many national pundits tweeting about it. And currently, the Lions are the 3 seed, the Rams are the 7 seed. So The Lions have to get up to 2, or the Rams got to get up to 6 to make it happen. But of the teams that you could see in the playoffs, and maybe I'm missing somebody, but here's what we're looking at. The Vikings, who are 7-7. The Rams, who are 7-7. Seahawks and Saints are both 7-7 as well. Here's the deal. If you beat the Vikings twice, they're gone. I don't think the Seahawks are any good, and I think they're going to suffer some losses along the way in the final 3 games. I do believe they're gone. Now, the Rams do have to play the Niners the last game of the season. That's going to be tough, and that could mean a loss, considering the Niners might need that game because they play Baltimore this weekend. And if the Niners lose 2 of the remaining 3, they could lose the 1 seed. So that could be a tough game for Los Angeles. But by listening to the radio and reading articles and looking at tweets and looking at the comments, it's interesting to me. Because you're either a I want it easy kind of fan. You want the New Orleans Saints. You want an easy win. You want to bludgeon them like you did. You were up by 21 at one point before they come rumbling back in New Orleans earlier in the year. You want the Saints. You want it to be easy. You want no stress. You want to celebrate winning your first playoff game, maybe of your lifetime, or the second playoff game of your lifetime. The second playoff win since 1957. So I guess I do understand. You've been waiting for this moment for such a long time. I do understand you wanted it to be easy. I guess I get that. I do. But to me, that's soft. No offense. Because for me, there's only one choice. It's the Los Angeles Rams. It's the Rams. And before you say, oh my God, what if Stafford comes in here and beats us? Why do you think like that? Why do you want it easy? Don't you want to really cherish it? Don't you want it to be gratifying? Satisfying? And the Rams aren't even that good, people. They're a 7-7 football team that started off like absolute trash. For all the people that are so worried about Cooper Kupp and Puka Nacua torching the Lions secondary, don't be. They're 12th in yards per game. Lions are better. They're 11th running the football. Lions are better. They're 9th in points per game. They score like what the Denver Broncos do, 23.4. You score 27.3. So it's not like they're lighting up the scoreboard. They're 18th in yards per game. And yes, I understand you're worried about Cooper Kupp and Puka Nacua. Nacua's scary, over 1,100 yards receiving, but he only has 4 touchdowns. Cooper Kupp came back from injury, about 600 yards receiving. He, too, only has 4 touchdowns. And their defense stinks, guys. It really does. They're 18th in yards per game. The Rams give up 336 yards per game. Could you imagine what they'll give up against the Lions at Ford Field with a good offensive line protecting Jared Goff? I think the Lions would thrash them. I think it would look similar to what it looked like when the Lions played the Broncos. By the way, I recently heard this. Did you know that the Lions could become the first team ever to have 4 1,000-yard gainers? David Montgomery, Jahmyr Gibbs, Amon-Ra St. Brown, Sam Laporta. No other team in the history of football has ever done that. That's pretty amazing. All right, now back to the Rams, all right? They're 21st in defending the pass. Goff should carve them up. They're a little better in defending the run. They're middle of the pack 14th. And they're a -2 in turnovers because you know what? Matthew Stafford loves to turn over the football. What are you worried about? The Rams are the choice. But what about Aaron Donald and the defensive line? Do you know the Rams have the same amount of sacks as you do, 30 on the season? Don't worry about that either. If that offensive line is capable of playing how they have when they're all starting in those 5 games where they are 5-0, I do believe you'll protect Jared Goff and life is going to be fine. You're going to beat the Rams. And if you think the Rams are the toughest of the choices here, I'll put them back out there. There might be some more that I'm missing. Maybe you're right. I don't know. But I don't care because I want blood. I want the Rams. And let me tell you why. Not only would it be a playoff win, the second maybe of your lifetime, second of my lifetime. I'll just use myself as a reference, okay? But you know what else we're missing in Detroit? big time, chilling moments that we never forget. Like those spine tingling moments that we talk about to our kids and our grandkids and our great grandkids. I plan on living a long time. Great grandkids. That's right. At least to like 95. My point is, we haven't had any of those moments in like forever. You know when the Phillies made the NLCS, they had that little game. There I am dancing on my own. Nick Castellanos and his team was up partying at the bar when they advanced to the next stage of the playoffs. That's something Philly fans will never, ever forget. When's the last time we had something like that? It's been for fucking ever. You want to say like the Maglio homer to send you to the World Series? That was 17 years ago. Claude Lemieux turtling against Darren McCarty. One of the greatest moments in the history of Detroit sports. It was in 1997, 26 years ago, guys. What about Kirk Gibson's homer against the Padres? Sparky yelling at him, "He don't want to walk you! He don't want to walk you! He don't want to walk you!" That was in 1984. I can't even do the math. I was 9 years old. But 39 years ago? Did I get that right? I don't even know. My point is, if you beat the Rams, and I think you would beat the Rams, we have ourselves what I think, and you can dispute this, but I think you'd be wrong, the biggest Detroit sports moment maybe of our lifetime. Am I hyperbolic here? I don't think I am. Yeah, we had Kenny Goins hitting the shot against Duke to send Michigan State to the Final Four. I believe that was 2019. That was the Zion Williamson and RJ Barrett team for Duke. Okay, that was a great moment for Michigan State people. Michigan fans had Trey Burke hitting the shot against Kansas. You realize that was like 10 years ago? Yeah, Michigan football has been great, but like, what's that moment? Like Mike Sanderstrill knocking out a pass in 2 years ago's game against Ohio State. My point is, we are bereft of big-time moments. With Detroit sports having sucked as much as it has in the last decade plus, we got freaking nothing. If you beat the Rams at Ford Field, a ratings palooza, they would give us the Saturday night game, a sold-out Ford Field, you take it to Stafford, you're telling me that would be the biggest Detroit sports moment of your life? It would be. And who knows what happens the next week? Maybe you lose, maybe you win, maybe you get to the NFC title game. But that moment would be the biggest Detroit sports moment. You got to root for the Rams, people. You got to root for the Rams. But it's more than just getting a moment. It is. I believe in synergy. I believe in somewhat curses. I believe in magical stuff here and there. If you beat the Rams, it would be a total cleansing of all the bullshit you've witnessed over the course of your life with this forsaken football team. Usually, you know how it works. A former player leaves you and goes on to win a Super Bowl like Matthew Stafford did. So in the same old Lions life, or Lions life of the past, a guy like Stafford comes back like Joey Harrington did on Thanksgiving, and you expect them to win. But it would be different because it is different. They have already proven to you that it's different. They got 10 wins. They've lived up to the hype. They're about to do what they promised to do, win the division. It's different. And you slaying Matthew Stafford, slaying such a strong word. He's no dragon. You beating Matthew Stafford, that would, in my mind, signify the cleanse of all the garbage that you've watched in the past. Same old Lions, dead. All that bad football in the past. It would be such a celebration, a culmination of change. Dan Campbell changed the culture. You're finally a real football team. And the reason that it would be so huge and the biggest Detroit sports moment of your life is because you want this the most. You want this the most. Yeah, it was great seeing the Wings win a Stanley Cup. Of course it was. It was awesome. Yes, it was great seeing the Pistons win an NBA title. I'm sorry. I just have to laugh every time I say Pistons. By the way, you better be careful out there. The holidays are upon us. I heard that if you get pulled over, they're giving you Piston tickets as discipline. It's going to make you want to beg for the points. You're going to want to go in front of the judge and say, Judge, Your Honor, please give me 20 points and I'll pay the $1,000 fine. Just don't make me go to a Pistons game. I was at Meijer today, true story. I was looking to buy an alcohol gift for a friend for the holidays, and I saw this massive bottle of vodka, and it was sponsored by the Detroit Pistons because, they're going to make you want to drink. True story. I'm going to go buy it. Anyway, where was I? Oh, yes. Beating Matthew Stafford and the Rams would be the biggest moment of your life sports-wise, and it's something that we want so bad. It's the NFL. You want it so badly. More than the Tigers, the Pistons, the Red Wings, more than Michigan and Michigan State. We're a football town, and we've never been given anything like this. That's why it's got to be the Rams. That's why it's got to be the Rams and Matthew Stafford. So who's with me? Let's start a movement. I think if we all root together, we could get Los Angeles in the first round and beat them. Anyway, that's all I got. I've taken up too much of your time. I did not expect to get this fired up in this podcast, but I did. Let's get to some comments on the Daily Ticket. Please rate, review, subscribe, follow, all that kind of good stuff. We always read comments, a good comment and a bad comment. Let's see what people are saying. Yesterday's podcast was how the Lions could get 2 home playoff games. People seem to have enjoyed it. Sports day at That's me. Oof. See what people are saying. Here we go. Let's do a couple good comments. King Derwin says, love the dad takes. I'm a girl dad as well. I understand your pain. Go Lions, baby. Love the show. This is very nice. Thank you. What else we got here? How about this one? I hope you mention this tomorrow. If the Lions win out, it will knock out the Vikings from wild card contention. You should root for Saints to beat LA. And then your potential wild card teams are Seattle, LA, NFC South runner-up, and Green Bay, all opponents Lions can beat. If Philly and Dallas have to come here divisional round, Lions will make them to make it to the title game. I'm down with that. As long as you get the Rams. As long as you get a chance to knock out Matthew Stafford. How about one more good one? And then we get to the bad comments. Let's see here. Oh, this one simply says, Meow Rieger. It's from Jason Word, 6,200. I'm not quite sure what that means, but okay. Meow right back at you. Let's get to some of the bad comments, all right? So yesterday I told you the story how it was sports day at my daughter's school, and she chose to wear a Matthew Stafford Lions jersey. Kind of broke my heart. Terrence Thomas, 5447, says, damn, man, get to sports. He didn't like the story of my family. Then there's this one. Ooh, maybe they can turn the Super Bowl into a home game too. Blue Kool-Aid drinkers getting over their skis after the win over the Broncos. So that's an individual that does not believe. His name, by the way, was Mr. Green 2341. So there you go. Some of the comments. That's my take. I want the Rams so bad, and I think the Lions would beat them. And by the way, even if they didn't, the reward is worth the risk, in my mind. So that's the Daily Ticket. Tomorrow we'll catch you on a Friday. We'll get you all ready for Vikings and Lions, where the Lions can clinch the division and, of course, a playoff spot. We'll do that tomorrow, guys. Enjoy your week. Have a great day, and hopefully you have better luck with this thing than I do. Like, where am I going to put it next? I just don't know. Do you know she has like a scooter? That's right. Like, I should have been the person to think of elf toys. Look at that. Amazing. Anyway. What a pain in the ass. See you guys.